back in 1957.
Got to turn up your 1-inch speaker to 11 so that distortion is part of the delivery. And then listen
Right.
very quietly for the announcement. Attention, attention.
I've never heard anybody say attention in the subway system. Never. I rode the subways for years, and it's just usually Tony Allen, or watch the closing doors, I never heard anybody say attention. That would be a violation of a union contract of some kind.
Too
To get
direct.
people to pay attention to an announcement, because then you'd be saying that you care about those people. Anyway,
It's the 1-inch speakers. Where are they made?
well, they're made in Japan at the Realistic Transistor Radio Factory. They used to. Now, I don't know if Japanese cut a deal with at some point with Spolpakia, because Spolpakia, you may not know this, has the world's remaining source of transistor radio speaker paper. Remember the paper that used to be in those speakers? You'd have that metal framework, and then you'd have that little round thing in the middle, and attached to that round thing with some clear glue would be a thin paper, almost like not quite a cardboard, but just the paper that vibrated and made the speaker work. And they ran out of it in Japan years ago. So they get it from Spolpakia, which has the world's last manufacturing plant of TR paper. And all the big companies used it. Advent, Sony, Klipsch, all the speaker companies. Anybody that made speakers used that paper up until, I don't know, many years ago. Now it's just Realistic, which is a part of Radio Shack, which is the last remaining company in Spolpakia.
There's one company in Spolpakia, just one?
It's really, everything else comes from the outside now. And that's, the Spolpakian president, Herminio Gizorch, is, upset about that. Because he has hats, these orange hats that say, make Spolpakia great again.
And did they have anything to do with the NBA gambling?
No, unfortunately, they.
Because when I heard about the NBA gambling, I first thought of the Spolpakia casinos.
Well, unfortunately, under Gizorch, they closed the casinos many years ago and turned them into banks. So you go in and you put your money, hand your money to a teller in a cage, but you don't get anything back. So that put a crimp in business.
This whole story of gambling in the NBA put a crimp in the daily production of content for ESPN. They took a quick break and then said, we'll be back with our gambling show right after these words. And the ESPN gambling show, which allows them to take a cut right off the top along with the Gambino family, is just to show that there's a good working relationship between those sides, the Gambinos, the NBA, sports television, all the people that are getting a cut off the top of your hard-earned dollars when you lose to the Bally website or the ESPN website or the NBA website that allows you to gamble on the Warriors. But if you're on the Warriors, apparently they don't want you to gamble on the Warriors.
Well, the problem is that, as in much anything else these days, and this probably says as much about the American people as anything else.
I'm shocked that the players are gambling.
Well, no. Show me anybody who thinks that, and listen, they know this. Show me anybody who thinks that gambling on sports is a bad thing. I mean, that's unfortunately what people like you and I that think that gambling will eventually be the ruination of sports. And I think that that's a legitimate concern. But I don't think that the average American gives a shit, to be honest with you. I don't think the average American cares if they're gambling or how they want. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know, but I just don't feel like they care about it. I talk to people in bars, and I'm standing in the bar talking to people, and they're not astounded that there's a gambling scandal. There's any kind of gambling scandal. The pitcher who was a major star in Major League Baseball that has now been banned from the sport for gambling. I don't think you could get anybody to tell you his name or what team he played for. So
that was Denny McLean with the Tigers.
I think. Say again.
Is that Denny McLean with the Tigers?
No, I'm talking about a guy that was banned from Major League Baseball this year.
See,
I mean, not many people even really know about it. And it's, I guess he's suspended. His name is Emmanuel Clase. Or Class. Yeah, I believe he plays for the Indians. He was suspended in 2020 for performance-enhancing drugs. Now he comes back, and in 2025, he's been suspended. Major League Baseball is investigating gambling infractions. Many recent reports are suggesting that his career is over due to irrefutable evidence that from this investigation that Major League Baseball has launched that has found that he in fact has gambled on games that he was involved in.
I think if you're in Portland this morning, you better get yourself a new head coach, because the likelihood of Chauncey Billups coming back to be your head coach in the future seems to be reduced in probability. I'm sorry if you're going to miss Chauncey, but you need yourself a head coach. He's not coming back.
Well, and again, does the average fan care? The average fan that goes to a game, are they? Look at how many people said that Pete Rose should be in the Hall of Fame. I mean, there was irrefutable evidence that Pete Rose bet on games that he was involved in, that he had the power to affect the outcome of, which is the biggest no-no of all. But how many polls were there taken that the majority of sports fans said that Pete Rose should be in the Hall of Fame because he didn't do anything wrong?
You can't have both those things being true, can you?
Well, I don't think you can have, it's interesting because the Hall of Fame, is it only for what you did on the field, or is it also the kind of person you were? Because you could go back into the annals of history and find a lot of reprobates that could play good baseball, and people back then didn't really care. And
Ty Cobb is the best example. And no matter what kind of a racist he was or how difficult he was presented as a human being, the fact that he played a great third base, was a good hitter, and a steady, unstoppable offensive producer, erased all the negatives associated with racists.
Right, and also, Cobb had a press that was hit it because he was their meal ticket too. He created jobs. He created jobs for the hot dog guy because people came to see the team. He created jobs for the umpire. He created jobs for the souvenir guys. Created jobs for the media. People, so if he goes and beats the shit out of somebody because he doesn't like the way they look, if he goes into the stands and grabs a crippled guy because he was yelling out that he sucked as a player and beats the crap out of him and almost kills him, everybody looks the other way. The other guy deserved it. I mean, that's kind of Trumpism, isn't it? I mean, he does these things right, so the things he does wrong we'll overlook.
Besides, we have to overlook them if we want to keep our jobs.
Well, again, there's a cottage industry, and whether you're for or against Trump, there is an industry that says that you're making money off of him. The Fox
good for business.
Yeah, he's good for business. He's good for the media. I mean, look at how many cable channels have sprung up since Trump took office the first time and prospered because they've jumped onto his bandwagon. I mean, Fox is still a leader, but you got the OAN, you got the News Nation, you got this one, you got that one. So
they like the fact that they're filling the void left by people being fired from the other channels, and they're emulating the idea that we can make up news and you can't tell the difference. We'll call it news. We say it's news. We insist it's news. We say it's breaking news. But in reality, we're just making stuff up because we can.
Well, we are interviewing people. We're getting people on our air that believe what we believe. So there's no opposing opinion, and that's what basically Trump and people like that need to survive. They need people that aren't going to disagree with them.
Right.
They need people that are going to say, "You're right. Yes, sir. What you believe is what I believe." And if you stick enough money in people's pockets, they'll go that way. They'll believe that. I mean, I just it's gone past way past the day of some salesman coming into you or I or anybody that works in a radio station say, "Well, you endorse this product for $25 a week or $30 a week," and you go, "Yeah, sure. What is it?" "Well, it's Mata Hari's poison pills." Sure, I take them all the time. 2 a day.
Among the poison pill industry, Mata Hari's is considered to be prime territory.
Well, they're trying to make their way. I mean, they got a good start with the Nazi generals and stuff that they gave poison pills out to, along with the speed pills. I gave them 2 boxes. Here's a poison pill. Don't use this one because you'll never get to use that one.
Don't confuse the two.
Keep one in your left pocket and one in your right pocket. And make sure you put a little tag on your pocket saying which one is which. Otherwise, you'll be out of the game.
Forget about it.
So they gave him the speed.
Because if there's one thing a Nazi likes to do, it's to go faster.
Well, evidently they did. I mean, evidently they developed these drugs in the Nazi laboratories that you didn't think that somebody was getting into those U-boats for a 3 or 4 week hitch and not doing something, to keep them up, to keep them going straight. Must have smelled horrible in there because when you get to next to anybody who's doing a lot of speed, that they have a stench about them.
The toxins do pour from the body.
Yeah. I mean, in every sense, shape, manner, and form. So, must have been a pleasant place to be. I mean, they fired torpedoes just to get some air.
What kind of speed are you guys taking? We're taking Nazi army speed. Oh,
yeah, well, I forget what they call it. Peridol, something like that. A lot of people say that the invaders from October 8th, the guys that and women, I guess, that invaded Israel also were on some kind of drug. That there's a drug that they've, and we talked about this back when it happened, that there's a speed-like drug that they're using.
That Hamas is using?
What?
That Hamas is using?
Yeah, that Hamas is using, they're manufacturing and selling and using to give them that feeling of invincibility. And they basically just, they take enough of it that their souls are torn out of them. And they don't have, they're not worried about staying up or fighting or they feel like they can't be beat, which is the feeling that many people get when they're doing those kinds of drugs.
You don't suppose that's how Chauncey Billups felt in Portland, do you? Here I am in Portland, in one of the backwaters of the NBA. I just feel like I can't be beat. I can't explain it to you, but when I take my medicine in the morning, I just feel like they can't beat us.
Well, I would say, Michael, that there are probably a lot of players. I don't know. I didn't have access to locker rooms in the 70s and early 80s, at least not until the mid 80s. But I think that was a part of the cocaine and speed riddled NBA of the 70s and the 80s. I think we all know that most of those guys were on drugs. Cocaine and speed. I mean, you heard the famous stories of how many drugs were going around the baseball clubhouses. The famous dish of greenies. And who was the guy? Curtis the caterer from Pittsburgh back in the 70s and 80s that, the famous drug trials that were going on there. I mean, it's nothing new.
Curtis would deliver. Well, Curtis would deliver. I'm saying this is the first time that we've seen the FBI, the league, and legalized gambling all meet in the margins of society. The fact that sports has embraced gambling in the last couple of years is a fact that didn't have a downside that we could see, because we weren't examining the individuals who were spending everything they had to gamble on the weekend of football or baseball.
Well, I don't
know. Now we know if they played their poker game with the Five Families poker parlors, they were destined to lose their shirt because of the way the game was fixed.
Well, there's several people that have done investigations into it. Several, media people have done pieces on it, and it basically fell on deaf ears. It got published, and ESPN wasn't going to broadcast it. They got a stake in it. CBS Sports isn't going to broadcast it. They got a stake in it. Fox certainly isn't going to broadcast it because they got a stake in it. And more radio stations aren't going to broadcast it because they have gambling news. They made a whole damn format out of it. Sports talk is no longer a couple of guys sitting around talking about who was better on the field. It was how are the odds? You turn on a sports talk show these days, and they're talking about this casino and that casino and the other casino, and meet me there on Friday night, and we'll have fun as bet away the rent money.
Meet me in the sports book. We got grab a friend and come by. We'll have some grub.
Yeah,
be very cautious. Be very cautious about the grub.
We'll give you a sandwich. Come on down. We're going to have heroes from Maxie's Hero Shop, and we're going to have all sorts of sandwiches. Come down. Just bring your credit card. Play the softy play of the night. Play the Brock and Salk play of the day.
Our casino spread is more advantageous to you winning big money. And you get a free $200 tonight if you come in, have a sandwich, or ask where the sandwiches are supposed to be. We may have them, we may not.
It might be out. Maybe you grab a couple of olives that are left on the tray, because all the salesmen from the radio station come down and they eat them.
They got to eat.
And that's the favorite sport of the sales department, right? They go out and they get food for an event, and they're packing it up in their cars.
Nothing disappears faster than food in a radio station. There's many things that have changed in the radio industry over the past couple of years. Some of them are changing probably today, but not that.
Not the absorption of food.
Good grief. It's magical.
You've never seen anything like it. You bring a whole big, what is it, Jersey Mike's beef, what is it, a cheesesteak hero. Bring it in. Say in the sales department, Jersey Mike's in the kitchen. And
if they make that announcement, there's pizza in the kitchen. You can't get there fast enough to find that pizza. You will find the boxes. You will find the wax paper that the pizza was in. You'll find napkins, but you will not see that pizza. And you'll wonder, all I did was walk from the studio to the kitchen. What happened to that pizza? And the answer is a radio station happened to it.
Well, I think I told a story. I've told it several times of when I worked at Cairo. There was a Thanksgiving weekend. The people that owned Cairo arranged for Thanksgiving dinner for the people that were working on Thanksgiving. So there was, a big turkey and mashed potato, the whole thing. I wasn't working on Thanksgiving, but I came in on Sunday evening. I think I filled in on a show on Sunday evening because somebody was out of town. And I walked in, and there was somebody picking at the carcass of the turkey that was still on the big table in the news department, and putting cranberry sauce that must have been sitting out for 4 days. And the turkey was rock hard, solid. It was mummified. As turkey will get after 4 days of sitting out. You could look at it and see the bacteria crawling on it. Or maggots, one or the other.
Bacteria likes to have Thanksgiving too.
And there's this couple of people just cutting pieces, whatever's there, cutting a little piece off of it. Whatever meat's clinging to a bone and eating it. Nobody ever threw it out until the cleaning people came on Monday night. Nobody had the brains to take the turkey, myself included. I mean, at that point, I wasn't touching it. I wasn't cleaning up somebody else's mess. So I let it sit there. I went in the studio and closed the door and said, please, if you've eaten that thing, don't come in.
Well, in the best traditions of radio, if there are food gifts brought to the kitchen, there'll always be some left over. There'll be remnants, there'll be plates, there'll be boxes, there'll be papers associated with that delivery. No one will touch them. The food will be gone. The mess will remain. If you've ever seen the sink in a radio station kitchen, it's never empty. It's full of plates.
Until it stinks so bad that it wafts out of the kitchen and into the programming department. And all of a sudden, or you walk in the back and you see something crawling on it, and you finally say, all right, I'm going to throw it out. And by out, I mean into the closest container. For a while, the sports department at Cairo, the 4 desks that were the sports department, was located right next to the kitchen. And on several occasions on a Monday, I would come in, and there in my trash container that was, under my desk, was the remnants of something.
Hard to say what. Probably a foodstuff.
And the smell that accompanied it. Several times. It wasn't like a one. I mean, they just tossed it into the nearest thing that would be out of sight. And when that garbage can in the kitchen got full, they just started going through desks. Actually, it was interesting. Michael Medved. You remember Michael Medved.
Yes, conservative talk shows.
His desk happened to be across from mine. For some reason, he sat at the desk by me. And listen, I had a good relationship with the guy. I mean, we didn't agree on politics, but he was a good guy. Nice guy. And we got along famously. But I remember his desk always seemed to be the first to get it. That poor guy came in on a Monday morning, and his desk reeked. And, the smell didn't leave once they got rid of the garbage.
No.
The smell would stay around for a day or two. It was one of the most vile things I had ever experienced. And I had a cubicle, and it was nasty. It was. I sometimes dreaded going in after a holiday because it was pretty bad. Hey, but we're speaking about bad stuff. What about Cal Raleigh this morning?
What did he say?
Well, he didn't say anything. He was named the Sporting News, I believe it is, Player of the Year.
Wow.
Which isn't exactly it's not the MVP, but it's on the way to it, I think.
It's a form of recognition that is well-deserved.
Yeah, Sporting News MLB Player of the Year. And, again, you think about what this guy did over the season, and if I can get past the multitude of ads that Cairo runs now on there, last thing I want to see is 2 guys getting their eyes cut open. But Cal named the Sporting News MLB Player of the Year. 46% of the 312 votes from players across the league, and that's always a a big thing because that's a vote that doesn't come from the people that cover the team, comes from the people you play against. Judge finished second, 27%, so it wasn't even close. And Shohei Ohtani was third at 11% of the vote. Now, of course, I think these are taken prior to the postseason.
Yeah.
He's only the second catcher to win the award. The other one was Johnny Bench in 1970. And the third Mariner to receive the award. Alex Rodriguez got it in 96 and Griffey in 97. And a lot of people think that Cal Raleigh compiled the greatest season ever by a catcher. 60 home runs. Not a big batting average. I think he only hit 260. No, wasn't even. It was like 230 something, I believe. But his power, his home runs,
his consistency,
and his consistency. He had 125 runs batted in, 60 home runs, in leading the team to a 90 and 72 season.
And that's his offensive output, his influence on the pitching staff, and his ability to call the game and run the game was considered among the very best.
Right. He caught 121 games. He also DH'd in many games, which was great because he was lucky enough to have a manager that knew how to not overwork him. And in the postseason, he was even better. He hit 304 with 5 home runs, 2 doubles, and he caught every inning of the postseason run.
Including the 15-inning game.
Will be announced November 13th. So you really, you got to hand it to him and them. And listen, they were smart enough to lock him up with a long-term contract prior to the season. And this is the one guy that you can say not only fulfilled his obligation with that contract, but surpassed it. I don't think anybody expected this kind of season out of Cal Raleigh, including Cal Raleigh.
I think you're probably right. I think it was one of the major surprises in baseball.
Yeah,
not that anyone said he'll never be that kind of player, but the level of influence over the game was extraordinary for Cal this year.
Yeah, he just he set a standard, set a bar for catchers that, man, oh man, I don't know how anybody's ever going to live up to that. It's almost impossible. It's almost a thing to it's certainly a thing to behold. So tonight you got the Dodgers and the Blue Jays, game 1 of this series.
Is it tonight or is it Sunday night?
Oh, for some reason I thought it was tonight, but maybe I'm wrong. No, tonight, 8 o'clock. World Series game 1, 8 o'clock, 5 o'clock Pacific time on Fox. Yeah, I thought I was right. Yeah, tonight at 8 o'clock, at 5 o'clock West Coast time.
Blake Snell pitching for LA.
I know Savage is pitching for
Toronto.
Toronto, yeah. I don't know who's I believe it's Snell.
I believe it is.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, they're going with pretty much the same rotation that they had in in the NLCS.
He not only pitched well, he had control of the movement of the ball better than he had earlier in the season. And when he's pitching like that, you got yourself a problem for the evening, because that ball moves in ways that prevent it from being hit. It shows itself to you. It says, hit me, I'm a strike. By the time you make your move, it's in another place in the planet and moving like it fell off a table. Like a baseball falling off a card table, playing in the Gambino card room.
Yeah, it'll. So and with the geopolitical events that happened certainly yesterday. I mean, you got an off day in the series, may as well pick it to call out your Canadian neighbors.
You think Toronto will boo the national anthem?
They may. I mean, I don't know. They got a lot of class, Canadians.
Yeah.
Say what you want about them, but they tend to have a little bit of gentlemen or class, but it wouldn't. I wouldn't think it would be past their thing to
baseball crowd is not a hockey crowd.
Yeah, it's not a hockey crowd, but it is a hockey crowd in part. I mean, it is people whose national pride has been offended, and it is a bunch of a group of scorned people. They've been scorned by Americans. They've been scorned by not so much American people, but the current ruling political machine that's running the country. Regime. And not even in a small way. They haven't been slighted. They've been stepped on.
Over and over again, with the whole business of the tariffs on Canadian products and American products costing, and parts being used in the automobile industry that cross the border.
Right.
Soybean production, oil production, all those things have been tariffed and ruined and taxed and illegally and aggressively lessened from their place that they had just last year.
Yeah, meanwhile, where our leadership is sidling up to Argentina and and other places that have dictatorial rule.
Well, Trump has done meat deals before. Trump Steaks, the great Trump Steak Company, probably the greatest steak company that the world has ever seen, that the world has ever known. Talk about steaks.
Hey, you know what, Michael? People buy it. People sent them money for Bibles. People sent them money for coins. People sent him money for whatever he has asked for. So, if somebody told me you do a TV thing and people will send you money,
it's true.
Who's to blame? Is he to blame or are the people to blame? He sits in a White House, the destroyed White House.
Yeah,
I mean, is there nothing, no more better symbol than what this guy has done to our country than the White House?
Actually, no, there isn't.
That he's ripping the very symbol of our country apart.
It's gone. The East Wing is no longer. It's not being destroyed. It's gone.
And it's sickening. It's horrible.
And no one can seem to stop him or affect the outcome of any of his plans, no matter how crazy the plan. Who would have thought that Kash Patel could be head of the FBI? Well, he is head of the FBI. There's nothing you can do about it. Not you, not your friend, not a senator, not a Republican in Congress. Nobody can do anything about it. We've become helpless in the advance that Trump brings with him toward Armageddon. The total destruction.
Yeah, and the
society.
Democrats, their idea of showing America that we're on your side, their idea of doing a smart thing and saying we'll show this guy is that the House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries has decided this morning to endorse Zoran Mamdani for the mayor.
Well, that's what the people of New York wanted. So Hakeem said, "That's what I want too. I want what you want."
So let's not only start let's not only look at the troubles that Washington is bestowing on people, but now let's turn the economic generator of our country into a socialist haven. Let's not try to come up with somebody who would be somewhere in the middle or just not endorse anybody. Just say, let the people speak.
Well, the people of New York had a mayor that was a little difficult to nail down in terms of what does he mean, what does he do, what's he stand for, how can we trust him, what's next. So the people of New York made this decision, not Donald Trump or not Hakeem Jeffries. It was
Right.
made. It was taken. That decision was taken away from them, and that's why they were so resentful of that. They didn't get to play the game to the point of directing the outcome.
Well, and there are many people in New York who say that this is the sign that New York City is changed. It's not a city of the neighborhoods anymore. It's a city of,
The millionaires.
well, see, I don't know because Mamdani has to be scary to the millionaires because some of the things he wants to do sound like ridiculous, sound crazy. So I don't know that he's going to be able to do it. If you own a grocery store chain and you have a mayor that's elected to the mayor of the city, and he's talking about doing away with saying that grocery stores have to have price controls and this and that. And listen, I don't disagree with him on some of the things because I think profiteering in New York City has been going on a long time.
Even among the Piggly Wiggly.
Among ShopRite, among these different places, when you go into a store and you got to pay $24 for a half pound of roast beef, something that was $13 a week ago or 2 weeks ago, something's not right.
So prices at Zabar's will be under examination.
I think prices. I think it's going to be a changed system in New York. Now, there's some things I think is good. There's some things I think are should public utilities be under government price control? Yeah, probably. It works here in Seattle. The utilities are owned by the government, and it seems to work pretty well. Prices are lower than most comparable cities. So there's some things I think are going to work. But I don't think you can go in and maybe I'm not in New York politics anymore. But I know there's going to be some growing pains. Some really big growing pains there. And I don't know how it's going to work out. But I just don't know that Mamdani is the guy. But then again, I don't know that Cuomo's the guy.
Well, from what I've seen, Cuomo seems to passed his due date.
I don't know. I don't know. I think you have a lot of people that he may be past his due date, but he may be the only thing they think can save them. I don't think they think Curtis Sliwa's up to the job. I mean, he's fine for running the Guardian Angels, but he seems to me to be more like a power grabber than anything else.
He's an opportunist.
Yeah, he's an opportunist.
And a media darling.
He gets coverage, everywhere he goes. He's probably getting money from some Trump people. Although the Trump people,
does he get a good salary from WABC?
I don't know what he's getting from WABC. Well, he's got to be off WABC now. I think they still have. They still can't let a political candidate be on the air. I think that may be one of the few rules that still happen. But that's okay. I'm sure they give him enough airtime. They probably give him more airtime that he's a candidate than not. But that's that's barreling towards a disaster.
Well, we're about to get that election into the books on the 3rd or the 5th of November.
Yeah, I don't know which one's election day. I think it's...
Yo, Vinnie, what are you driving this week?
Oh, man, am I driving a nice car this week. I'm driving a Lexus TX 550 plug-in hybrid. It's big. It's luxurious. It's a very, very, very nice vehicle that it's one of the nicest Lexus I've been in a while.
Is this a luxury SUV?
Yeah, large luxury SUV. I've been on a little bit of a run with the Lexuses here, and this one is at the top of the class. And it's a plug-in hybrid that pumps out, I think, 440 horsepower between the V6 and the electric motor, and it is it's this new platform that Lexus has come out with that they use to different degrees on different vehicles. And the one thing I notice about this is the feeling of stability that for a big SUV, I remember we would get into a big SUV and drive out to Pullman, and you turn the wheel and wait a second, and then it would turn with you. This has none of that. This is a solidly well-engineered, put-together vehicle with a suspension that adjusts to the road conditions, with a drive system that in some models, the back wheels steer along with the front wheels. And so it turns the vehicle in a shorter space. So you have a big vehicle, but a shorter turning circle. As far as in the car amenities, you have a great big screen, a video board that goes across in front of you and gives you all of the information that you need. And as far as safety, it's amazing how safe this thing is. I mean, it's got all different kinds of pedestrian protection, stopping protection if somebody comes across in front of you and you're not paying attention. Lexus builds a car now that in some ways I agree with, in some ways I don't. It almost makes you feel a little bit safer, but it takes some of the driving out of your hands when you turn these things on. And I guess for some people that's not good, but if I got an idiot that's driving down the street looking at their cell phone, it's probably a good thing because they're not paying attention to the road.
What if they're placing a bet on the Timberwolves?
Or if they're trying to place a bet. So that Lexus, it's $70,000 worth of Lexus, $80,000 worth of Lexus. It's not a cheap vehicle, but it is a fine vehicle. They take it out this weekend, take it up to the Joe, put it through its tests. The Lexus I had a couple of weeks ago was without a doubt an off-road vehicle. You could take this thing and take it off road. I don't know if this is designed for that, but I do know that it's a solid vehicle, and it just has that feel that it's put together well, that attention has been paid to detail and to putting this thing together, and it's in it's made in America.
Will we
Made in
hear more
Indiana.
about it? Will we hear more about it tomorrow at 11 o'clock?
You'll hear more about it tomorrow at 11 o'clock on Drive Time. I'll have videotape and pictures and show you how it drives and show you some neat things about it. And we'll have fun at 11 o'clock tomorrow morning as we do Drive Time. And I don't know. I don't know what else the weekend holds.
Well, we'll see if the creek rises.
Well, we will. If the Lord's willing, the creek don't rise, I'll catch up with you Monday, and then we'll see where we are in the World Series. We'll see where we are in the football games. The Seahawks have, I think the Seahawks have a bye this week, if I'm not mistaken. So they'll get a week to rest and to
Washington's playing an early game against, I can't recall who.
Who's playing an early game?
The Huskies.
The Huskies. Well, they had Michigan last week, and that didn't come out too well for them. So, is it Oregon, I think?
No, I think it's first game. It's
Yeah. Anyway, yes, they're.
I thought it was Washington. That's UCLA that's got the early game against Illinois, Indiana, actually. Washington plays Illinois tomorrow.
Yes. Washington plays Illinois here at home, 12:30. I don't know.
The Cougars play Toledo. I actually get that game on the CW network.
Who's that? The Cougs?
Yes. Cougs play Toledo.
Are they in Pullman or are they back in Toledo?
They'll be in Pullman. 12:30 West Coast time game.
Well, a lot of people are picking the Fighting Illini to win that one. No, to lose that one. The Huskies to win at home. As a matter of fact, of course, if you go on Google, you'll get the win probability. I don't even look at. Yeah, I mean their records are exactly the same. They're the 10 and the 12. So we'll see what happens.
4 o'clock game on the West Coast on ESPN is Miami, my alma mater, and Stanford. And that's going to be rather one-sided, I have a feeling, with Miami taking the advantage. And last game of the night that doesn't start till 7:15 is Utah hosting the Colorado Buffaloes.
Yeah, I'm of the opinion that if I'm watching Utah and the Colorado Buffaloes tomorrow at 7 o'clock, something has gone wrong with my life. If I'm not out of the house and getting some air or doing something at 7 o'clock tomorrow night, I mean, I may stay in to catch the Huskies. But the whole the idea of plopping myself in front of the television set all day and watching football I don't know. It doesn't do a lot for me anymore. Maybe I'm getting old. Maybe I realize that the days I'm going to see the sunshine are much less than ever before, and so I got to get out and enjoy the sunshine a little bit more. So if I do hear that game, it'll be on the radio. One thing about the Lexus that I am driving this weekend, it has a wonderful Mark Levinson sound system. Now I don't know who Mark Levinson is, but he sure got a damn fine sound system.
Could have been the son of the Levinson who did all the game show production.
Sam Levinson. Well, no, that was Sam Levine, wasn't it? He was a game show panelist on a lot of shows. I used to, for some reason, mistake him for Bennett Cerf, but
That would
Sam
break Bennett
Levine.
Cerf's heart.
I'm sorry, say again.
That would break Bennett Cerf's heart to hear that you got him confused.
I don't know. I think Sam Levine was a pretty smart character, but he used to be on several of those game shows in the 50s. And I don't know. He always struck me as a very teacherly-like guy. It wouldn't have surprised me if I look up his biography on Twitter, not Twitter, on Wikipedia, where you can always trust what they're saying. And, you would find Sam Levine to be a science teacher in PS 188 in the Bronx that was discovered by either Mark Goodson or Bill Todman, and whisked onto the set of Password with Alan Ludden, and opposite Betty White, and he played the parlor party game so well that they invited him to What's My Line?
The major leagues.
The major leagues of game shows. You're talking about the New York Yankees of game shows. Sunday night, 10:30. Where do you go after the show, after the play, when the theater empties out? Why, you go over to CBS Studio 52, and you
take a
seat and watch them do What's My Line with with the 3 regulars and a guest. And if you were lucky enough to get invited to be that guest, you had something to say when you got to Toots Shores later that night.
Ask him if it's animal or vegetable. Don't ask him if it's mineral. That's
never ask him if it's mineral. It's never mineral. Minerals aren't exciting enough.
No.
It's 2 down and 2 to go. We continue the questioning with Bennett Cerf.
Have a great weekend, Vinnie. Have a good show tomorrow, and I'll see you Monday.
See you Monday. Have a good one, and go Blue Jays. Let's get let's get that big trophy into Canada where it belongs.
They have to pay a tariff to get it back next year.
If a Florida team can win the Stanley Cup, then damn it, a Canadian team should be winning the Major League Baseball World Series, the Commissioner's Trophy, the biggest prize in all the land for baseball.
Go Blue Jays.
Oh, Canada. Go Blue Jays. I see you, Michael. Peace, love, Manischewitz, baby.
What a wine.
Thanks, everybody, for listening, and go Blue Jays, man.
Go Jays. See you, man.
See you, Michael.